it would be nice to have a really good soldering and desoldering system. However, when you look at some of the prices of these systems, when they're new, they're very expensive. And as a hobbyist, someone who's not really looking to spend a lot of money on equipment and tools, but yet would like to have some nice tools and equipment to get the job done, you start to look for used systems and so forth, maybe piece things together, which is what I did. Even the used systems, though, when they're affordable, they're going to be missing some parts or missing the hand pieces, and then you have to go and find replacement parts, try to piece some things together. By that time, if you could find the parts, the price is back up. I made this video to show you that you can find affordable solutions and put together a nice system that really works well and gets the job done. So enjoy the video, and I hope you can find something similar to this that works great for you.
Hey, this is my it's my Motorola desoldering system, and I bought this off eBay. It works. The vacuum pump works. Everything I think works. It just needs a little bit of cleaning up inside. It's a little dirty in there. But the problem is right here. These were the hose nipples or whatever that came out the front panel here, and they're broken off. And so I got to try and find some new ones that are threaded that'll take these nuts. And this top one is an output. It's like an output. It blows air rather than sucks air. All right, the vacuum is in the bottom. This one is a pressure control, and what it probably had some sort of shutoff valve type thing on it that you could adjust how much airflow comes in and out. Because what happens is this pump, basically one side of the pump is pulling air, the other one's pushing air out, and it's just one goes in and out of each one of these ports. And so what I'm going to try and do is I want to take this thing and use the vacuum, obviously, for my solder sucker, and I want to use the top one to run a heat gun, a hot air gun. And I've got to check the pots on these things. What I want to do is see, this just takes a standard type 3-prong electrical plug, and I know it's poor lighting right now. There we go. 3-prong electrical plug, and what I want to do is, obviously I plug a soldering iron in one side, and I think on this other one I want to plug in my hot air gun, and then find one that I can't find the hand pieces that go to this thing anywhere. I can't find any parts anywhere for it. It's a discontinued item. However, it was made by Pace, manufactured for Motorola by Pace. Right there. Sorry for the lousy camera work, but this is the model, the RSX-1002A. There's a foot pedal. There's the pedal and the power cord. But this all works fine. I've tested the pedal. Everything works fine. I don't know, after spending the money to fix it all up, because I got to get the hand pieces. The hand pieces are not cheap. And so I just got to make my own hand pieces. And with this kind of plugging, basically I think you could just use any soldering iron setup. As far as the heat gun goes, I may have to put a 3-prong outlet on that. Take off whatever connector comes on the heat gun and put one of these on it, or make an adapter that goes from the type of connector that it's going to have, probably, and convert it to this. This is priority one for me right now because I'm going to use this to do a lot of my restorations, electronic rework, replacing, doing all the recaps on my radios and stuff, and I want to be able to use this. Alright, so I'm back with you on the Motorola desoldering system, and I've gone ahead and taken the time to go and get some parts to do whatever I said I was going to do. So I've been to Radio Shack, and I found this. Originally I was planning on getting all the parts necessary to recreate the original handpiece from the manufacturer, but that will cost a lot and still won't. And to keep the cost down, that means I can only buy half of it and then fashion the other half, which would have worked and it'd be all right, but I'd still be up to about $50-$60 on the handpiece alone. Whereas with this, I bought this soldering iron for $13 at Radio Shack, and went over here and get some better light on it. This thing is your basic cheapo soldering iron. I'll just take it out of the package. You can see what it's all about. It has a snot sucker type bulb, and basically it's 45 watts, and it has a power cord, and it'll plug into the plugs over here. Now, what I plan to do with this is to use this hose that I've gotten from Home Depot, connector here, where it's I may or may not use this connector, depends, because these were the original connectors where the hose from the handpiece hooked up, but they were made of plastic and they've broken. Now these nuts were what, there was one nut on the inside, one nut on the outside, kind of sandwiched it in between and kept it there. Now, when I found these brass ones, and I found other metal ones, but the brass ones are more common, but yet the threaded ends are really huge. They're really big, like a ½ inch. And so that would require me to drill out these holes, and I'm not going to do that because I do want to still get the original pressure control knob up here eventually from the manufacturer. So I don't want to drill these holes out. I do like the idea of having metal versus plastic, because those plastic things break all the time. So, all right, what is this? This is a couple of fuel filters for lawnmowers that I've gotten to filter out the solder and the fumes from coming all the way back into the motor and into the diaphragm of the vacuum pump and ruining that. So this larger one, I don't want it down here on the handpiece. So this is going to be my secondary or final stage filter, and it'll go up here. I'm just going to stick it in this hole up here, put the hose on from the inside, and call that good. This one, the smaller one, I'll put up here on the hand unit, just about where this bulb is, and it'll catch the solder. And this was only like $3, and I can throw it away when it gets clogged or something. This one will probably never get clogged. Well, eventually over years it'll get clogged, but this nice paper filter will filter out the fumes and everything. All right, let's take this top off. I got the screws just loosely sitting there, and I'll show you the hoses on the inside. Well, you've probably seen them from the first video, but we're going to look at it again and talk about that. I've taken the filter out of the package. This larger filter is going to go up here and through this hole, but recall that the hole has a flat side to keep the, there's a flat side right here, to keep the old plastic nipple thing from rotating when you crank down the nuts on it. So this won't quite fit through, but what I'm going to do is I'll shave one side flat using this knife to to get it in that hole. And I've taken the other filter out. This is the other filter that goes in the down here, and it'll go where this bulb is. So basically, this bulb is history. And take it off of there because we really don't need it. This is not necessary. So hang on while I do that, because this takes two hands. Alright. So the bulb's off, and I'll have a piece of hose, filter, long section of hose that'll go all the way down the 6 foot length of this cord. It will be attached to this filter, which will run in there and attach to one of these hoses, whichever one for the vacuum. Now, as I mentioned, I have the hose. This will run along with the power cord all the way down. I also have a wire harness tubing that has that's been split down the side, and we can fit the power cord and the tube in and run down to the end and encase it in that and keep it from being a tangly mess and just being a general nuisance while you're working. And I'm going to go get that and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what I was referring to. It's called flex tubing. It's a 1/2 inch. This is a 7 foot long segment in this bag, and I'll open it up here and show you what I'm talking about. It's always fun. So, here it is. Sorry about that. I gotta get a real freaking camera one of these days. Alright, so this is split. All the way down. And you can just insert the wire and this tubing inside it. And it'll hold it in place. You can strap tie it with some wire ties and whatnot every so often and get it down there. Alright, I'm going to put this thing together. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to do some testing. I've got that filter on there. The tube, get this one out of the way. The tube down here, I just put it over the end. It fit kind of tight. I didn't want to really, there's no need for the hose clamp, so I just ran it over here. May do a better job of that later on, but for now, just for testing purposes, I think that's fine. I mean, it's on there super tight anyway, but got that thing in there, and it fit really snug through that hole because the shaft got wider as it came down towards this end. So it's in there kind of tight, snug. That's nice.